Okay. We all got real quiet. I was just tuning. Like, you didn't have to give me your attention yet. Alright, we ready for the second set?
Yes.
Alright, cool. Hello everybody, I'm Marc With A C. This is the second set of the evening. Thank you all very much for coming and for allowing me to perform songs which in most cases I normally don't play very often. Thank you for letting me get very self-indulgent in the last set. This set will be partially self-indulgent too, but I promise it will all make sense in a little while. You might as well dance, cause one day you're all gonna die. And you should have fun before your untimely demise. You can't avoid the cold hand of death, so you should be out there enjoying yourself. You might as well dance, cause one day you're all gonna die. And I know what you're thinking, you're all, Marc, what if I'm richer than God? You're still gonna die. You don't get no Facebook friends in the afterlife. We often forget that life is short, so come over and dance on my front porch. We might as well dance, cause one day we're all gonna die. And that means all of the people in business suits, all the housewives addicted to tiramisu, the French actors like Gerard Depardieu. Well, they can come over and they can dance too, as long as they don't bring their attitude. It won't kill you to be nice, cause you're already gonna die. So cheer up, emo kid. It's only gonna get worse, fucker. Wait till you grow up and you have a brand, and you need to promote that brand, and you have to give Facebook all your money. But as for now, it's all ages and admission is free, so ignore your responsibilities. And if you pick up some jelly beans, well, you can come over and dance with me. 9 out of 10 leading dentists agree that you might as well dance, cause one day you're all gonna die. They tried to train us, but they ultimately trained us. Now they're trying to blame us for not trying, but we did as we were told since we were a few days old. And now we got nothing to show for our obedience. They tried to derail us while claiming to educate us. Now they're trying to blame us for not trying, but we did as we were told to survive and get old. And now we got nothing to show for our obedience. But if we borrowed some of their money, they said we could work and give it back. But now they can't afford to pay us, and we can't afford the shirts on our back, while they drink champagne and laugh. They try to ignore us, but they ultimately implore us. When they try to floor us, oh, we're not running, but we did as we were told since we were a few days old. And now we got nothing to show for our obedience. Oh, we did as we were told since we were a few days old. And now we got nothing to show for our obedience. Oh, we did as we were told, to buy the future they already sold. And now we got nothing to show for our obedience. Ho! So originally, I occupying that space on the set list were two other songs from those albums. Originally, right there was going to be a song called Slick and Unused from the album Popular Music. And instead of We're All Gonna Die, it was gonna be Military Brat from Life's So Hard. I X'd those off of the set list because when I go into what I'm going into next, they are such a fucking downer. To the point where I could not recover when rehearsing the set. I was too fucking sad. No, really. This block together was gonna be sad as shit. So, I think we can make it a little more joyous, but this song that I'm gonna play for you next, I wanted to play it a lot in the last year, but I couldn't because it needs a story, and sometimes people like when I tell stories, so now seems as good a time as any to do it because you're all looking at me. So, here is a story, because if I played this song straight up, I swear to you, and you'll get it when I play it, you would all, after the show, crowd around Nicole, and you would say, "Are you okay? Do you need a safe place to go? Do you need help?" You need to understand that sometimes when I sing the pronoun I don't mean me. Sometimes they are characters, and I know that's very difficult sometimes when there's songs that are quite obviously about me, like I'm in love with everyone I know, for example. It would lead you to believe that I am the character in all the songs. I'm not the character in this song. All right. Positive, and I can prove it with the setup that I'm about to give you. Patience, dear Padawan. Patience. So, like 2002, 2003, I was in this period where I was living in a very, very small town, the type with 500 residents and only 10 last names, and I was trying to move to Orlando so that I could, better perform and save a bunch of gas money. I was working in a record store in Orlando, but I still had some ties to the small town. And I was trying to save money, so I kept this graveyard shift job that I had, this third shift job, working in a gas station. And this gas station was not your average gas station. It was one in the middle of fucking nowhere where trucks would park behind it, all, to sleep and stuff. So you had your normal evening. From 10 to 2 was basically just a rush of people who live in small towns trying to get their alcohol before you cut off the sales. And then from 2 to 5, the only customers you had were the local police officers who didn't have anything to do, and they would come in and they would get their free coffee and sometimes shoot the shit with you. They were pretty nice folks, really. And then from 5 until you got to leave, you just had morning rush of people who didn't want to be awake. Okay, that was basically my night. Didn't really change for the entirety of my existence there. Until this one evening when I went outside to pretend to sweep the sidewalk, but really I was taking a smoke break. And I noticed that there had been this truck there, and what was odd about the truck was that they were backed in so that the license plate was facing the store. They were upright in their truck, and they were looking at the road with binoculars. And they'd been there for quite a while. I mean, like a number of hours. So, me being completely hapless and thinking everybody's nice, I sweep up to them, and I see that their window's down. And I'm like, oh, it's a friendly redneck with binoculars. So I asked him, hey man, how you doing? I've noticed you've been here for a while. Is everything all right? And he looks me dead in the face, puts down his binoculars and smiles, and goes, yup. Everything's gonna be all right when she gets off work. And then he reaches into the passenger seat and lifts up a towel and shows me the gun. And then puts the towel back down. And I start sweeping backwards. Okay, well, you have a good night. So, a very small town. It's important that you remember this because I went back inside and I called the police. Now the dispatch would always come into this very small town's convenience store because it was the only place to get coffee. So dispatch knew me on a first name basis. They see my number, well, the convenience store's number come up on the caller ID, and instead of getting 911, what's your emergency? I got, Mark, what's up? Like, oh, not much. Listen, I really need you. Like, hey man, do you wanna? And so they're trying to have a conversation. I'm like, no, it actually is a problem. Like, stop what you're doing. So I explained the situation to them, and I guess all the police officers were listening, because before I was done, the whole parking lot was just illuminated by police lights, and the gentleman with the binoculars had peeled off into the night, and all the police cars followed him. Now this was easy for them to do, because right next door to the convenience store was the police station. That was it. It would have been a little bit more effective had I just swept backwards until I got there and went, "Hey guys, that dude," and they would have done it. So after that very quiet night until around 4 a.m. when one of the cops on the beat came in, and I asked him, "Hey, what happened with the guy in the binoculars and the when she gets off work thing?" And he was like, "I can't talk about it." Oh. And nobody would talk about it for like 3 more months. Nobody ever talked about it, and I never learned what happened. I checked the blotters, I checked the local papers, nothing. Nothing about this. I am a human being, and I need closure. So I wrote this song as closure from his perspective. Here you go. Well, I'm down on my luck. There's nowhere in my truck, and I can't hardly pay my bills. But I got a permit and plenty of pride, and if I'm rubbed the wrong way, I'll fire at will. The last deputy saw no probable cause, and that's why he can't go home tonight. Rumors make me berserk. She must think I'm a jerk, but when she gets off work, she'll have one big surprise. I'm gonna shoot that girl of mine right between the eyes. The right to bear arms never did me no harm, but for her tonight, she's gonna die. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. 'Cause you know me, I have to throw a sing-along into fucking everything. Back to the story. When I was a boy, I played shoot-em-up games till I got a real gun of my own. Though I might seem a louse when it comes to my spouse, well, I'm not playing house, darling, this is my home. So after a few drinks at the usual place, Luther came up to me with a grin. He said, "I like your wife, I'll be taking what's mine." And that's when I decided to drop both of them. Well, I'm gonna shoot that girl of mine right between the eyes. The right to bear arms never did me no harm, but for her tonight, she's gonna die. Hey, tracks. I've made these mistakes in the past. Prison's no fun, and I'm my mama's son. So with a click and a bang, well, I ain't going. going back. are. There they are. They're clutching each other so tight. In the chamber there's three, one for her, him, and me. Never let it be said my bark's worse than my bite. 'Cause I'm gonna shoot that girl of mine right between the eyes. The right to bear arms never did me no harm, but for her tonight she's gonna die. Hey, 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 I know that one's difficult, right? But could you imagine it with two ballads before it? So, yeah, I know, right? But it's half true. You now see why I needed to set that up with the story so that you all weren't going to be like, okay, Nicole, these are the battered wife shelters that we know in town. Right? So, with that being said, I think now it's time to play something a little more fun and ridiculous. I heard some person go, aw, like, no, depress the shit out of me, Mark. It'll be great. I got nothing to look forward to. All right. Yeah. Bizarre. Imagine that you equate my birthday with sadness. This song has a guitar riff in it. The guitar riff is important. You'll be quizzed on it in mere moments. Not verbally, but you will be quizzed. You'll understand when it happens. This is a ridiculous song that I never get the chance to sing from an album called Motherfuckers Be Bullshittin'. Yeah. Stuck in a small town in Wisconsin where I practically own stock in Johnson & Johnson. And the blues ever since my baby left. My gums were all pink, now they're totally red. Well, since I left my baby, I can't stop flossing. For 3 weeks straight, my lonely ass has been all about string that's minty and waxed. Feeling so low and feeling so weak that all I'm doing lately is cleaning my teeth. The only distraction from my personal hell is paying too much attention to my dental health. Well, since I left my baby, I can't stop flossing. For 3 weeks straight, my lonely ass has been all about string that's minty and waxed. Well, since I left my baby, I can't stop flossing. For 3 weeks straight, my lonely ass has been all about string that's minty and wax. I feel like I need to be closer to you to sing this song. No, I need to be closer, not you guys.
Too late.
It's a great visual, though.
Too late.
Yeah. This song goes out to each and every one of you. Something in the way you love me won't let me be. wanna be a prisoner, so baby, won't you set me free? Stop playing with my heart, finish what you start when you make my love come down. If you want me, let me know, baby, let it show. Honey, don't you fool around. Just try to understand. I've given all I can, 'cause you got the best of me. Borderline, feels like I'm going to lose my mind. You just keep on pushing my love over the borderline. Borderline, feels like I'm going to lose my mind. You just keep on pushing my love over the borderline. Something in your eyes is making such a fool of me. When you hold me in your arms and you love me till I just can't see. Okay, so before we go any further, I'm going to restart that second verse. But I think we can all pretty much agree that pretty much all of the songs on the first 3 Madonna albums are about fucking. For example, Lucky Star, that's just fuck me in space. Holiday, that's just let's take a vacation and then fuck me. La Isla Bonita, that's fuck me in Spain. We all get it, right? So, by the Madonna first 3 album rule, that means that based on the lyrics in the second verse, the song's actually about a lady who's in the middle of experiencing an orgasm denial so severe that she's left without the sense of sight. So she's blind and naked, wandering down 5th Avenue, going, "Someone show me the way to Danceteria!" Alright, let's try it again. Something in your eyes is making such a fool of me. When you hold me in your arms and you love me till I just can't see.
That's about fucking.
But then you let me down when I look around. Baby, you just can't be found.
She's blind.
Stop driving me away. I just wanna stay. There's something I just gotta say.
Because you can't say it with her eyes.
Just try to understand. I've given all I can, 'cause you got the best of me. Borderline, feels like I'm going to lose my mind. You just keep on pushing my love over the borderline. Borderline, feels like I'm going to lose my mind. Come on, baby, come on, darling, yeah. It's just a bad cable. Don't sweat it. I brought this cable from home, so you know it's broken. Well, that was fun. Feel like we all shared some bodily fluids.
Ebola.
Ebola?
Don't your friends.
Too soon. I haven't heard about Ebola in like 2 months. What happened?
Everyone died.
Yeah, we covered that in the first set. Everyone's dead now.
Yeah, so we're dead. So let's go.
That's good. Yeah, all right. We're dead. Great. Do borderline again? Oh, I thought you said do it again. I'm like, but I just... Sir, you have no concept of how performances work.
First one. That's okay, I'm gonna take a swig of this water and then we'll move on. But importantly, how are you?
Yes.
Alright.
I'm alright.
So I've done some difficult stuff this evening in the first and second set. Here are a cluster of songs that you may actually have a chance in hell of knowing by Marc With A C. I will say they're not the ones that you would probably normally request or expect, but you do have a chance of knowing them. With that being said, when I'm done, as we've covered before, I will leave the stage, and if there are songs that have been unperformed that you need to hear by the recording act Marc With A C, not covers, I will be happy to return to the stage and perform them. So, I guess this is a love song. I'm gonna hire a professional team to bring your heart back to me. I don't mind a bit of bloodshed as long as I'll own it again. They will throw you on the ground and make a large incision. Yeah, they'll crack open your ribcage and take it away surgically. Your heart may lack love inside, but I will keep it in formaldehyde. The valve in aorta, but no crash car. I will repossess your heart. I will repossess your heart. If you don't come back to me, your heart will non-consensually. You'll no longer have a choice. Possessive boys will be boys. I don't care about your liver, I don't care about your spleen. I just want the gift back that you once gave to me. Cause your heart may lack love inside, but I will keep it in formaldehyde. The valves in aortas, but no crash car. I will repossess your heart. I will repossess your heart. I will repossess your heart. She's not addicted to drugs, she's addicted to ice water. She could drink it all day, it's how she chooses to bathe. She rinses out cups and leaves a little bit of soap behind. It's antibacterial, it's cleaning out her insides. What have I become now? I'm feeding her chicken. This gotta stop, we gotta think of the children. Her feet barely work, she can't pedal her bike. We watch movies under the blanket. That night she had her eyes closed and her face hidden. She laughed before the jokes were even written. She don't like coffee, she chugs the cream. She buys Slurpees for the undercover police. And it's true, I ran away from your button face. I was hoping that your type was just a phase. There's no London in Brazil, I think you're mentally ill. Please forget you love me, go away. Please forget you love me, go away. She braids her hair by tying it in knots. She left her first husband cause she hated doing the dishes. She pours ice water into small plastic coolers. Stays up late just to memorize The Simpsons at a 0 to her age. And then you'll realize what she knows then. She don't like coffee, she chugs the cream. She gave herpes to the undercover police. And it's true, I ran away from your button face. I was hoping that your type was just a phase. There's no London in Brazil, I think you're mentally ill. Please forget you love me, go away. Please forget you love me, go away. She buys Slurpees for the undercover police. And it's true, I ran away from your button face. I was hoping that your type was just a phase. There's no London in Brazil, I think you're mentally ill. Please forget you love me, go away. Please forget you love me, go away. It's true, I ran away from your button face. I was hoping that your type was just a phase. There's no London in Brazil, I think you're mentally real. Please forget you love me, go away. Please forget you love me, go away. Please forget you love me, go away. I lived in real small towns, really small places that house 500 residents with only 10 last names. And I don't know what you came to see here on this slightly raised platform, but I'm hoping that whatever it is the last thing you'd expect. 'Cause the audience is listening, so you better say something interesting. They wanna hear a different take on things that they think but never talk about. You don't care that I'm generally a skeptic with a billion conspiracy theories about how Mike Nesmith of the Monkees was really involved in the making of the album Changes, even though the artwork says it was only Mickey and Davey. So just because I'll state some opinions making fun of pop culture, please don't expect me to understand what's popular this week. But speaking of what's popular this week, occasionally I see people make references online to a song by a gentleman named Robert Palmer. You all familiar with Robert Palmer? He's best known for the song Addicted to Love. Addicted to Love was actually an artistic compromise on his part. He had just come out of a big run with the band Power Station. Power Station was known for the song Some Like It Hot. That song was also a compromise, but we'll have to save that story for another show. Okay, so he had left the Power Station. He had just turned in his new album called Riptide. Riptide was just shy of a single, and they said, Robert, the label is they. The label said, Robert, we think this album needs a hit single. Can you write us one? And he's like, the due date is like in 2 weeks. He says, yeah, I know it's a tall order, but you're the hit maker. You're the guy who gave us Dr. Doctor, Give Me the News. And he's like, yeah, I'm still pissed that you made me change it to from lawyer, but, you know, whatever. So, anyways, he comes in 2 days later and he goes, I'm sure I've written the hit. This is the song that's gonna make Israel and Palestine get along. And the label exec said, it's like 1985, Robert. That's not even gonna be a problem until Marc With A C mentions it at Sleeping Moon in 2015. What the fuck are you on about? And he's like, I don't know, but it's gonna make for great stage banter for him. So, why don't you listen to this demo, dear label executive, that I have prepared for you? And they're like, okay, let's hear your big hit single, because we're gonna have to bring in some outside writers otherwise. So, they put the tape in, and they hear. The lights are on, but you're not home. Your mind is not your own. Your heart sweats, your teeth grind. Another kiss, and you'll be mine. Whoa, you like to think that you're immune to the stuff. Oh yeah. Closer to the truth to say you can't get enough. You know you're gonna have to face it. You got shit for brains. Might as well face it. You got shit for brains. Might as well. And they stop the tape and they're like, Robert, we got a problem with one of the lyrics. And he says, is it the might as well face it part? Because I thought that was pretty clever. I mean, one day you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, I have shit for brains. And they're like, no, that's not the problem. It's like, well, is it my idea for the treatment of the video that I want a bunch of girls that all look alike to play instruments they don't really play, ultimately just making them eye candy, which is not sexist in any way? And they said, no, the video treatment's fine and we think it's going to work. It's the shit for brains line that we have a problem with. What's up with the shit for brains line? And he's like, well, I think that's a problem that's really facing America today. A lot of people have shit for brains. A lot of people know people with shit for brains. I think that that's the surefire hit. And they're like, Robert, how about we make it something a little more radio friendly? He's like, what do you got in mind? Say, how about, gonna have to face it, you got shit for brains. Turns into Might as well face it, you're addicted to love. And Robert thought about it for a moment, and he went, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. The song is clearly about someone with shit for brains. Well, we all know what happened, but now you, the People's Republic of Sleeping Moon Cafe, now know the real history behind Robert Palmer's Addicted to Love. That story is completely untrue, ladies and gentlemen. That story was made up right here for your enjoyment. But here's something that is true. This has been a difficult show because this has not just been my birthday show, this has been a secret record release party. My new album is called Exactly Where I Am. It will not come out until February 17th, but tonight you can buy it here. Now, the internet has been playing a guessing game, trying to guess exactly where I am. They would have won if they would have guessed the 4 words, exactly where I am. But instead, they took the long way by trying to decipher the fucking clues that I put out. But anyways, so, if you buy it tonight, we take cash or credit, but if you buy it, you're entering into a contract with me. There are 2 things that you have to do to buy it. 1, please don't share the music. The pre-orders go live on Tuesday for everybody that's not in this room, but nobody actually gets to hear a note of it unless they buy it until February 17th. However, if you buy it, please just say online something about buying it, okay? Just even if it's just a picture of you with the record or just going, I just bought the new Marc With A C record. Something. Are we agreed? Is that, okay, if you buy it, you'll do that? All right, great. I've been Marc With A C. This has been the Exactly Where I Am release party. Psych, suckers! Well, the audience is listening, so you better say something interesting. They want to hear a different take on things that they think but never talk about. Thank you! I went to bed, my wife said goodnight. I woke up this morning with a puppy by my side, and I deduced I could complain, but I don't have the right. Right now I'm just happy to be alive. I look at all the things we own that I don't ever use. I look at my family and what I put them through, and I would like to take the time out to apologize. Right now I'm just happy to be alive, 'cause I got all my fingers on my toes. My body's full of H2O. I'm getting old and some of my hair is falling out. Shit, but I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I got lots of room to grow. I don't mean to sound holier than thou, but I play songs to one town and I hardly venture out. Some people sing the words back to me almost twice as loud. Songwriting archive, but right now I'm just happy to be alive. Why? 'Cause I got all my fingers on my toes. My body's full of H2O. I'm getting old and some of my hair is falling out. But I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I got lots of room to grow. I don't mean to sound holier than thou. Once I spent an unexpected night inside a jail, and it was hard to spend that night not checking my email. But I lit up a cigarette and I waved those cops goodbye. And right then I was happy to be alive. 3 more times. Right now I'm just happy to be alive. 2 more times. Right now I'm just happy to be alive. Just you go. Right now I'm just happy to be alive. Thank you. You've been a wonderful audience. Thank you for coming. I've been Marc With A C. You've been awesome, and this is the end of set 2. So good night, unless good night.